Okay, this video is going to be on just a bunch of random things actually. Saw that a lot of people have been making videos about their gripes and their 2 cents about the problems in WWE and just wrestling in general, honestly. And ways that, they can improve or just pretty much giving their opinions on what's wrong with it. Thought I'd throw my 2 cents out there as well because it's like, to me, Raw, for, the most part, has not been watchable to me for so long. Not saying that it's a bad show or anything, because for the most part, the show has been mediocre to like out of 10, like, and ranging anywhere from 4 to 5. It's not like something outstanding, but then again, it's not the worst thing in the world. The thing that bothers me the most is the length of time the show runs, and when you're sitting there watching it, which I've done once since Raw's went 3 hours, watched from top to bottom. Raw 1000 and 2 weeks ago was the only shows that I watched from top to bottom for 3 hours. And the one show that I did watch when Shawn Michaels got his arm broken, it was so hard to sit through because they kept dragging and dragging. And by the time the third hour came, 8 to 11 was just a regular Raw, but then you look at your clock and it's like, still another hour, an hour and 15, I guess. It's like it dawns on you that, man, I can't sit here much longer because it's just things keep dragging and dragging, and you don't want to sit there and just, it's almost like a chore or something you don't want to do, but you feel like you have to do it because you want to support the product in as much way as you can. But it's really getting to the point where it's like, why support it when it's not even giving you, the fan, what you want to see? And I think this past week's Raw was a perfect example of that, where Daniel Bryan and Kane, I'm sure you guys have heard it, but, the WWE hug, and Lance Storm went off on this on his Twitter as well, and I couldn't agree with him anymore. That day showed that, wrestling has truly died, and not saying that, sure, the fans chose it, but I think people in the back knew that booking their previous segments in a certain way would end up from them hugging it out. And the fact that people overwhelmingly chose that. I was at work anyway. I watched it just yesterday and finished watching it this morning. And it was like, it was entertaining, I'm not going to lie, but it did, a 2-minute thing ended up dragging on for at least like 8 or 9, 10 minutes. And that's my biggest thing. Things that should be short and they just keep dragging and dragging because they have so much time to kill. And to be quite honest, they don't have enough guys to really fill in that time period. Since you got Triple H out of there, you got Shawn Michaels out of there, you got Chris Jericho gone, Brock Lesnar's gone, Cena, Punk, and Orton can only do so much. And Sheamus, to be quite honest, he's only as good as the guys you really put him with. And putting him with Del Rio and Dolph Ziggler isn't going to really push him from mid-card to main event. It's going to keep him there until, he elevates himself. He's been put in positions where it's like guys he's been put against have really been, just your average kind of worker. You got Daniel Bryan, who was at the time not the main event at the time. He was getting there, but Sheamus was the guy to really take that spotlight away from him. But Daniel Bryan went off to do bigger and better things. But since then, who was Sheamus really feuded with at the time to really put him at that world title caliber level? Del Rio is really the only guy I can think of. And I don't know. It's not saying like their matches are boring. I'm gonna put it straight out, but it's not. I don't know. Putting them against Punk this past week was okay. Champion versus champion. It's a good little build up to their match, but it's not. How can you take a guy like Sheamus seriously? Sure, he wins all the time, but who is he really beating? He kicks Dolph Ziggler 9-10 times in a month. It's not gonna do Ziggler any good, although he's gonna beat him soon enough. And that's about that. And then Punk, his turn I've already talked about. It's okay. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing how the Paul Heyman thing's going to work, because I think those two together and their minds kind of going at it can really put a bright light on the WWE product. And then feuding with Cena, of course, can make it even better because Cena's the guy the crowd can play towards. And Paul Heyman being that maniacal heel, that just dastardly heel, can really give Punk that extra motivation and to really give him that heel run and have Cena play the superhero person. And it's a perfect match. But and then TNA is they have the same thing. They do a lot of stuff where it should be 2 minutes, but they just drag it along and along to make it 10 minutes. And although they have the Aces and Eights thing, which is their biggest storyline right now, I know they have the Claire Lynch thing, which they just dropped. But the big difference between TNA and WWE, and you can see this while you watch it, is that TNA focuses on wrestling more than WWE does. For a fan like myself, and for those guys who invest so much money in WWE, buying DVDs, buying figures, buying this and that, I think, in my opinion, I think we're all looking for wrestling, not just a Cobra or dance-offs or hugging or backstage segments where two guys who have so much wrestling brilliance are just sitting on a chair talking about their feelings. And that's where I think TNA is going to shine, and I think that's where they're going to really sweep a whole bunch of people from the WWE ship to their ship. And I'm one of those people because I'm looking forward to the Bound for Glory series because they've made meaning out of it. And unlike last year where it was just a whole bunch of matches, now it's like, you have your top 4 guys and these guys got to win this because, now with Bobby Roode out of the title picture, I think that predictability where James Storm was going to win and face Roode can really be out the window because, Aries is the champion and they had the thing where it's no more rematches. And then, that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to Smojo versus Jeff Hardy, and then Jeff Hardy versus Kurt Angle from last week, which was an awesome match. And I bet half of you guys didn't even see that because you guys have this mindset where TNA sucks and TNA is always number 2 and WWE will always be number 1 because they're the biggest company in the world. And things have changed now. Although WWE is still number 1, I do think TNA has a slight advantage over WWE when it comes to putting out a product that people will enjoy. Because to be quite honest, once 11:20 hits and you see Raw sucked, this sucked, that sucked, TNA's only doing like, man, I'm looking forward to next week. That Kurt Angle match was awesome. That Aries match was awesome. That promo by Joe was awesome. And that's when you look, that's going to pull off in the long run. Take Destination X, for example. The build-up to that was just incredible, and then the payoff was even better, which gave TNA so much momentum in the long run. Where WWE's big, what was their pay-per-view? SummerSlam. You had Triple H losing, Triple H retires, and the WWE title match. What happened? Triple threat. They didn't do anything with that. With WWE, you got the climax, and then that's it. No more momentum comes off of it. Now it's like Punk has to prove himself as he can beat Cena. As if we haven't seen that match so many times. Cena's playing it off like you're in my hometown, although he gets booed 90% of the time when he's in Boston. It's not, you've done the same thing over and over again. It's time to change things up a little bit. And that's where I think Heyman can come in and do what he has to do. Because if anyone can save wrestling, it's Paul Heyman. And he's done it before, and he's really made things entertaining when they're at a bad state. And that's about it. I don't really have too much more to say. Kind of just shooting things off. But I'll see you guys, and leave your thoughts as well. I really like to know what they are. And I'll see you guys in the next video.